Welcome to the Steelers by the Lake podcast. My name is James, joined once again by my co-host Cody. Cody, how you doing this fine Saturday morning?
Oh man, it's Saturday. Yesterday was a lovely day. I worked for most of the day, and then I went to San Antonio and had the most amazing food I've ever eaten in my entire life, James. It was fantastic. My birthday meal. Shout out to Megan, because that was a friend that I met online. That food, if you guys ever get the chance to go to Bohannon Steakhouse in San Antonio, make sure you come with a good chunk of cash, but then just have at it. My buddy Keto bought a freaking Wagyu, whatever. Sorry, I'm not that fancy. Wagyu from that was flown in on a private jet from Japan. And we had a good laugh about it. We started talking about it because, you know what? My buddy Busty had never been on a plane himself. So he was like, this cow got better treatment than I've had.
That's funny.
It was a good time. We had a good time with it. But James, how are you? Also, I apologize for my throat.
I'm good. Mine's a little off today too. So we'll be off together at least. So if those of you, if you don't follow our Facebook page, yesterday was Cody's birthday. So happy birthday, Cody.
Woo! Happy birthday.
Any of you are, feel free to go ahead and comment on our Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram, anything. Make a post, make him feel special. The young man is an old man now. He's 30. Oh, Lord.
30, and still a little flirty.
A little.
Excuse me, sir.
I've known you a long time.
I'm not as bad as I was when we first met. That's for sure.
That's good.
I was a troublemaker back then.
You were. You know who else is a troublemaker? ACLs, man. ACLs.
The transition.
Chris Wormley's ACL, which is such a troublemaker. It gave out on him in that last game. He's done for the year. It's going to require surgery.
Require surgery. He's done for the year to make room. We put him to the IR to make room for defensive tackle Jonathan something. I don't remember his name, but he was recently signed.
Marshall.
Jonathan Marshall. Which is fantastic. So that's great. In other news, if you listen to the last episode, James and I were very, 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 and to clarify, very excited for the recent signing of Ola Adeni, because he was a player that we had all enjoyed watching in preseason, played with Pittsburgh for a little bit. Unfortunately, he was sniped away from us, let go, whatever you want to call it. But he came back, and then you know what? He failed his physical, so he was not actually signed. So that is just so fucking annoying, man. I just can't take it. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's not like a starter. I know it's not a Pro Bowl level player or anything, but Ola's a guy that could get after the passer a little bit, and kind of developed while he was with the Steelers, left via free agency, and fell out of favor in Tennessee. Had an opportunity to come back, and apparently he's still injured, which is crazy because he was just waived last week. So if he failed a physical this week, then he was waived while he was injured, which unless they reached an injury settlement with him, that's a big no-no. So I don't know what's going on in Tennessee there, but the league might be looking into that one. Hopefully he'll heal up in a couple weeks. Pittsburgh will bring him back in, test him for a physical again, and then bring him into the offseason, because he could be an upgrade at the number 3 outside linebacker over what we had this year.
Yeah,
Malik Reed
immediately
just did not contribute much.
And we talked about that on the last episode of how drastic of an upgrade that more than likely would be. So that is very true. So unfortunately, Steelers do not sign him. With that being said, speaking of the injuries, we do have some. We have some updates for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Carolina Panthers, even more than maybe we normally. Actually, probably about the same. There's potentially more game status out there now that it's Saturday instead of Friday, but I doubt it. I also don't think this has been updated since yesterday. You want me to do Pittsburgh or Carolina?
Yeah, go ahead on Pittsburgh. I'll chime in if I feel like it, and then I can handle Carolina.
All right, Kenny Pickett out on concussion protocol still. He was limited participation all week. There's a chance he may have cleared concussion protocol, but they're just choosing not to play him. I don't know. I haven't heard the clarification on if he's still in concussion protocol or if he's cleared, they're just choosing to rest him. Either way,
He's
good decision.
he hasn't practiced full all week, and that's the natural progression through the concussion protocol. You have to do well enough and limited that they move you towards full. He never even made it to a full participant in practice. So my assumption there is with you that he's still in concussion protocol due to the fact that he never even made it to a full practice.
Got it. Cameron Sutton had limited participation on Wednesday, then full on Thursday and Friday with a neck stinger injury. More than likely a go for the game. Najee Harris with a hip injury. Took Wednesday off, but full participation the last few days. He is more than likely a go. Miles Jack, interior line or inside linebacker, groin injury is going to be out for the game. So that means we may be seeing Mark Robinson for the first time, which those of you who have listened to the show know that we are very excited for Mark Robinson. More than likely won't see actual playing time other than special teams. You'll probably have Robert Spillane fill in that number 2 role or number 1, however you want to look at it. Pat Fryermuth, foot injury, didn't participate Wednesday and Thursday, limited participation Friday. I hope Matt Fryermuth is a go because I'm in the fantasy playoffs and he's my tight end. So anyways, Larry Ogunjobi, defensive tackle, toe injury, didn't participate Wednesday or Thursday, but full participation Friday. I do expect him to be a go. Josh Jackson, the cornerback, ankle injury, did not participate Thursday, limited on Wednesday or limited on Friday. I'm assuming Josh Jackson will be a go at this point, even though it was no, he's probably out. Josh Jackson's probably out.
I don't know. You know, they haven't Jackson and his injury. I mean, he could probably go if he needed to.
Yeah, I'm processing that Akilla Witherspoon's gone. So
yeah, and you know William Jackson.
Yeah,
same with him as well. So
yeah,
getting a little thin at that corner position, but I mean, realistically, if Josh Jackson dresses, he's the number 5 corner anyway.
True.
So they probably just won't dress him. He'll sit with Kenny Pickett and Miles Jack and Kendrick Green and that bruised ego. And, you know, the usuals.
Yeah. And then the last nose tackle injury report, Cam Hayward with the contusion to the birth certificate, his usual thing, but he was full participation on Friday. He is a go.
Yeah. Yeah. So Cam just getting the day off, which is exactly what you should do if you want to have any production out of it all. So update on our Carolina Panthers, the enemy of the week. Our current opponent. So Brandon Smith, the only guy they've got listed as out. He's the linebacker for them and has an ankle injury. Now they've got 3 guys listed as questionable. 2 of them wide receivers, DJ Moore and Laviska Shenault. Laviska's got a shoulder, DJ Moore with an ankle. Also, safety Xavier Woods with a knee is listed as questionable. Questionable these days is almost more doubtful than it is anything else.
Yep.
So that's something that'll help Pittsburgh out now with 2 of their top wide receivers out in the game most likely. And if they are playing, they're going to be playing a little bit injured. This is a team that is very run heavy to begin with. And I would expect even more of a stress on it. So very important that Pittsburgh's run defense is really on point this week. I think it'd be a good week to give Mark Robinson a try and let him have a few snaps here and there, especially since his specialty is run defense, and that seems to be the weakest point of the Steelers defense right now. So,
big facts.
Hopefully they'll give him a shot. Other notable players on their injury list right now, Devontae Foreman got the day off for rest. Pretty much everybody else on their list is just resting players. Joel Ayabinue was a full participant with a shoulder. Corey Littleton with an ankle. That's about the entire list right there, man.
Yep.
So they're not real bruised up, but where they are could be beneficial for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking now forward at the Carolina Panthers roster and their depth chart and what their team looks like. When you take a look at their depth chart on offense, at least there's not, I'm going to be honest with you, James. I'm not scared.
You shouldn't be.
No, I mean, you got Sam Darnold at quarterback, who I still believe Sam. And honestly, I think after seeing Baker Mayfield leave and have the success that he had in LA, I believe Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than what he's given credit for, even in this system. I think that Carolina just has a bad system right now. Baker Mayfield couldn't do anything with this team, unfortunately. And I just think that it wasn't a good fit for him. I also think it's not a good fit for Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold is I don't think Sam Darnold is like top half the league, not even close. But I think Sam Darnold is not the worst quarterback in the NFL by far, starters.
Yeah.
But we're going to see what happens. Sam Darnold's the quarterback, running back, Dante Foreman. Dante Foreman's been having a quietly good year. He came in a little late. I believe he was the reason I know that or say that is because I picked him up on fantasy, but he's 5 years in the league out of Texas. He's rushed for 637 yards. He's averaging 4.3 a carry, which is great. That's solid. That's a solid run. That you listen, you run on all 3 downs, that's a first down. So
I hear Chuba Hubbard's having a nice year too. Do you have his stats in front of you as well?
I do. Chuba Hubbard has rushed for approximately 250 yards, but 4.55. So a better average. 6 touchdowns between the two of them. They're a solid. And I feel like Carolina, minus when Christian McCaffrey was there, Carolina's used to being a dual backfield type thing.
Yeah.
Who was it back in the day when they got that 2 guys?
D'Angelo Williams.
It was D'Angelo Williams, but I can't remember who the other one was.
Yeah, there was another guy there at the same time.
They
and
called
that was
him
part of why D'Angelo left.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was going a little bit more heavy towards the other running back, and he felt like he still had something to give, which he showed in Pittsburgh. He was an excellent number 2 running back.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so the like you said, the quarterback, not an insane quarterback here, probably bottom tier quarterback. Rushing game, very good. Wide receivers, as we talked about in the injury portion of the show, DJ Moore is injured. Laviska Shenault also injured. So Terrence Marshall Jr. and Shi Smith might be starting with Rashard Higgins backing them up,
which is fantastic.
Yeah, that shouldn't really scare you too much. The tight end room is actually pretty talented. Tommy Tremble, a rookie tight end, having a nice year. And Ian Thomas has some real ability as well as a receiving tight end. And again, this is a situation where this is something that has given Pittsburgh problems all year covering tight ends.
Tommy Tremble's not a rookie, by the way.
Oh, really? What is he, second year? He's young, isn't he?
He's in his 3rd year though.
Okay.
Yeah, he is young. I remember talking about him pre-draft a little bit with you, but yeah, 22 years old out of Notre Dame. So, and been in the league 2 years already. So
this is his 2nd year in then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. That's what I meant.
Gotcha.
Offensive line here is a little wild.
Yeah, man. So 1st round pick, Ike Makwanu. He's the rookie that a lot of people were talking about as far as best offensive tackles in this previous draft class. Brady Christensen at left guard, Bradley Bozeman, their experienced center, Austin Corbett at right guard, and Taylor Moton at right tackle. This is a pretty decent offensive line. It's no surprise that they've had so much success rushing the football this season.
Yep.
So definitely something where this defensive front for Pittsburgh needs to bring their A game and make sure that they're not getting beat off the ball, because this is an offensive line that can bully you and has bullied plenty of teams. So they really got to have a gut check this week and take it personal and not allow that man in front of you to beat you up all game long like happened last week.
Yeah. Defensive side of the ball. This defense is actually scary when looked at in depth. The defensive ends, the right and left, Yetur Gross-Matos, the guy from Penn State. Well, we all know about him. Brian Burns on the other end with Derek Brown and Matt. I don't remember. Ioannidis, excuse me.
Yes.
All those guys are fairly young and talented. I think the oldest of them is Matt, if I'm not mistaken, he's 28. He's been in the league 7 years. But Brian Burns and Yetur Gross-Matos on the outside, that's scary.
Yeah, especially Burns, man. If he lines up opposite Dan Moore, Dan has better be ready for a fight.
Yep.
Brian Burns, a very good pass rushing edge player, whether you want to call him defensive end or outside linebacker. Looks like they classify him more of a defensive end in their scheme, but similar idea. So that means that the linebackers are going to be more off-ball linebackers than they are pass rush linebackers. So imagine it like 3 middle linebackers. It's kind of the way 4-3 teams do it. So their outside linebacker on the left, Shaq Thompson, in the middle, Damian Wilson, and the right, Frankie Louvu. What a fun name.
Luvu. Very fun name.
Louvu, Louvu. It's like an
De-
ambulance noise.
yeah, definitely quiet name-wise middle linebackers. Stop. I can't. Definitely quiet. Like they're not names that you're like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna, tear it up, anything like that.
Shaq Thompson's pretty good, isn't he?
True. Yeah. Shaq, but it's still it's not like a top 10 name. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. It's not a Fred Warner.
Yeah, it's nothing like that.
Not somebody like that.
He has
Not
a half
Bobby
sack
Wagner.
on the year, no forced fumbles, no interceptions. Like he's quiet.
Oh, so he's Miles Jack almost.
Yeah, exactly. And then you look at the cornerback in the safety room, CJ Henderson, who's a young cornerback that I believe was drafted out of Florida 3 years ago. And then JC Horn, another young cornerback who was drafted 2 years ago out of South Carolina for the Gamecocks. They are young. They're talented. JC Horn has 3 interceptions on the year, if I'm not mistaken. CJ Henderson, I believe, only has 2. Correct. So they're a young squad in the cornerback room. You have TJ Carey behind him and Keith Taylor Jr. Backing those guys up. So one of those guys will be in the nickel slot. And then their safeties, you got Jeremy Chin and Xavier Woods, both talented guys. Jeremy Chin is very talented.
Yeah.
And he's
big, strong, and fast.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, very big for a safety.
Thankfully,
what is he, like 225 or something?
He is 220. Is 220 is what they have him listed as.
6'3", 220. What a freaking boss of a safety.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, and then Xavier Woods is again a big hitter as well, but he's only 200 pounds, 5'11". Louisiana Tech. Neither of those two safeties have listed a sack, interception, or forced fumble this year. So, my
kind of surprises me with Chin.
Oh, 100%.
Not as much with Xavier Woods, but Chin had a really, really nice year last year. So I'm surprised there's not more turnover production there.
100% will lead into one of my keys to success, but I don't want to see any of them record a stat line they already don't have on the season.
That's fair. Let's get into special teams. Their kick return man, Raheem Blackshear, with Laviska Shenault backing him up. Shi Smith at punt return. Long snapper, J.J. Jansen. That's triple J's, 3 of them in a row there. Holder is Johnny Hecker, who happens to be the punter.
Shocking.
Get this, the holder and the punter, same guy. Kicker, Eddie Pinheiro.
No one cares.
No, but Hecker was the Pro Bowler for the Ravens for years and years, so expect him to have a good game.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for that. Now we're just going to talk about our 3 keys to success in beating the Panthers. Me or you first? I don't remember what we're doing this week.
Let's go with you this week first.
Okay, number 1, because I already talked about it a little bit. Do not turn the ball over any single way, shape, or form on this game. We saw Mitch Trubisky throw 3 interceptions last week at inopportune times. Any time is an inopportune time, but he got down in the red zone and just said, hey, let me give this to them. I don't want to see any of these cornerbacks, linebackers, anybody record an interception, a forced fumble, none of it. The cat is freaking out. Cat's on my lap, everybody, watching the mouse on my screen move around. He's ready to attack. So with
cats and mice, bad combination.
I know. He might hop up on the screen here. But anyways, with that being said, don't step on that. Second key to success, get the run game going. We've seen what happens when Pittsburgh can run the ball, control the clock, and make things happen. I want to see Najee Harris have 150 yards this game. The key to success is get the run game going. The secondary goal on that key is for Najee to hit 150 yards. My third and last key to success, pressure the crap out of Sam Darnold. He will make mistakes. You can get forced fumbles on him. You can get picks. I want to see TJ Watt either get a strip sack or a forced fumble on this because he has the potential to do it. He's been a little quiet since coming back from the injury. I want to see something happen. Or you know what? Him and Alex Highsmith can split one. I don't care. Somebody needs to make something happen. So those are my 3 keys to success. Oh, there the cat goes.
All right. I like it. On your first key there, no turnovers. When Pittsburgh has 0 turnovers in a game this season, they're 5-1. Every single game that they've had turnovers, they've lost.
Every single one?
So that tells you something right there. Pittsburgh, with this team this year to stay in the playoff hunt, they cannot turn the ball over. So that's a fantastic key, Cody. Number one, my very first key to success this week is defensive line sack up. And I don't mean go get sacks. I mean, let's be men. Let's take pride in this game and the run stopping. Don't let another grown man push you around and bully you all game long. So stopping the run, starting with that defensive line, extremely important in my book. Number two key to success, MLBINT. I want to see a middle linebacker with a pick this week. I don't think we have one the entire season.
Mark Robinson, your time to shine.
Mark,
what would you do?
Devin, I don't care if it's Marcus Allen on a fake punt. I want to see a middle linebacker with an interception this week. And then my final key to success is, regardless of whether it's Mason or Mitch Trubisky, heavy involvement with the Steelers tight ends. These guys are all chain movers. They have great hands. They're good at getting yards after the catch. They're physical guys. Go heavy on passing to tight ends this week. Let's attack those middle linebackers and off-ball guys.
And not just tight end screens.
Yeah,
unless it's
Zach Gentry.
Unless it's to Zach Gentry with blocking in front of him.
No, I feel like your best move on the tight end screen is the Connor
Hayward.
Hayward.
100%.
That's the guy that's going to make some people miss. The other two are going to truck some people, but you got to give them some space to work with, and they don't seem to be doing that.
True.
So let's hit them down the field. Let's take advantage of these guys, their abilities to get in the end zone, their abilities to get yard after catch, throw to the tight ends. That's my third key to success this week.
Fair enough. So that's going to do it for this. We thank you guys so much for being here, watching, listening, however you're doing it. Be sure to like and follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe and ring the bell. It is gosh darn free. It costs nothing. And until next time, this is your host, James and Cody, signing off.
Peace.